to show you how to make this really cute Christmas countdown sign. Today is the first day of the 12 Days of Craftmas. I've done a series like this in the past and it was a lot of fun, and so I decided to bring it back this year. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the next month, you'll get a different Christmas craft tutorial, and I'm doing a big giveaway with the company MakerFlo. Now my friends over at MakerFlo have agreed to give away a sublimation oven, and I'm so excited. Their oven can hold 12 20-ounce skinny tumblers at one time, and it's just a beast of a machine. So make sure you click on the link down below to enter the giveaway, and make sure to subscribe so you can watch all 12 days of Craftmas. So let's jump into it. So for this countdown project, we are going to use my Thunder laser. It is just an all-around amazing laser, so I highly recommend you look into Thunder if you're looking to buy a bigger industrial laser. So we're going to autofocus the material, that way it will cut out properly, and then we'll frame our design to make sure it fits on our material. This took about 10 minutes to cut out. So you can either use paint or paint markers or color pencils or whatever you want to color this in. I don't think I'm necessarily going to cover everything in, but so I'm going to use this red paint marker for the chimney, and then I am going to just lightly brush it on. I think it gives it like a nice little look. Make sure I really get that covered. Doesn't matter if we overlap a little bit, but all right, that looks great. And then a tip is to say if you did use paint and you got it in the score markings, you can use something like this little Cricut pick, and then you could just pluck the color out of those grooves. But so I don't mind too much about getting the red on there because this part of the roof eave is going to cover that up nicely. The only thing I'm not sure is about what color to paint this wooden piece that goes up here on top of the chimney. I don't know if I want to do like a silver or if I want to do like a what color. Now for this design that I made, I did a couple different things. I did it to where you don't have to put a base on it. If you want to just lean it against something or put it in like a different kind of stand, that's fine. So in the cut file, I did cut out 2 of these little bars that cover the bottom. So if you wanted to, you could sandwich it like that and kind of stand it up that way. But I also did cut out this little wooden base here that locks in pretty tight, so it's its own stand-in. And then you could still use this to cover up right there. The only thing is it's a little bit taller than the back, but I don't think that really matters. If it really matters to you, you can adjust the size of it. That's up to you though. But so I think it's gonna look cute. So next, let's paint up the eave of the roof and then the bottom of the house. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do like kind of like a snow texture if possible with these 2 parts, and then I really think I'm gonna leave this one blank. I don't know, I'm still on the fence. All right, I think I decided to ditch the kind of classy look of this sign, and I'm gonna just add color, make it a little bit of a tacky Christmas. Obviously you can paint it to however you like. All right, I'm going to paint the eave of the roof this silver color. All right, that looks great. So we can set this off to the side. All right, for the eave of the roof, I want it to look like there's snow on it. We're gonna use this UV resin and some of this white sparkly glitter. But so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix it in a cup. I'm gonna get a good amount in there. Probably don't need that much. And I'm just gonna put a little bit of glitter. And then I'm gonna just kind of mix it up slightly, and I might have to add some more UV resin to it. I think I have a little bit too much glitter because you want it to be a little bit runny. So just keep mixing until you find the right ratio. And I think that looks pretty good because it's a little bit runny, but it still has the glitter. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just kind of gently paint this on, and then we might have to come back with some more, like a second coat. And the good thing is this isn't gonna like dry or anything until you hit it with the UV light. We got a little bit too much there. Let's try and spread that out. All right, so I'm gonna move my little mixture here out of the way because now we're gonna hit this with UV light to cure it. And then you wanna do this for about 30 seconds to a minute. It just kind of depends. And then you can kind of tap it and you can hear that's cured. All right, and then we can bring our mixture back and we'll finish off this other side, and then we'll do a second coat. And again, that looks great, so let's hit it with the light. Make sure you're doing this in a well-ventilated area because it can get a little stinky. And then we can do this next coat here. All right, and we can cure this up. All right, we're gonna set that aside. Then we can hit that with the UV light as well. And then we're done with this part. So in order to glue these pieces onto here, I'm going to use my favorite method of where I just use some wood glue. This is in a tiny bottle because I separated big glue bottles into these little ones for an event I have coming up. And we're going to use these little sewing clips. This is the secret sauce. This is what makes gluing up little wooden signs like this or for your tiered tray sets so much easier. So let's glue it together. So I honestly think this is like the cutest thing ever. So we can just break the seal here, and then I'm going to take the top off, and then I'm just going to paint on this wood glue. Now this is a wood glue that will dry transparent, which is really nice. Honestly, with wood glue too, less is more. It doesn't need to be anything crazy because it's just going to seep out. All right, and now I can place this. I'm going to try and do it somewhat carefully, but it will slide around a little bit because of the wood glue, so keep that in mind. I'm going to try and get it really centered up here, and I'll put my first clip on, hold that in place. I like to do kind of all the major points first to really get that, you know, in there. And then what I'll do is I'll normally come through and put a couple more just to really kind of lock it. That one broke, and then we'll just let that dry. And then for the bottom one, I'm going to put this in the base so that I know exactly where I need to glue it. You could just use your finger too if you really wanted to. And then I'm going to line it up as best as I can, and then we will lock it in place. And then I'm going to pull it out of the base. Then we'll just let this dry for about 30 minutes to an hour, and then we are good to continue coloring it all together. I forgot we also need to glue on the chimney top. And now everything is all clamped up. Also, I did a little test here of putting black on the words, and I like it, but my marker's a little bit too big, so I don't know how this is gonna look. Let's attach our base, and that looks pretty cool. Now all we have to do is write how many days are left, and then you can just continue the countdown each day, and this will be something really fun that you can do with your kids. Honestly, I love how the resin and the glitter looks, and this thing came out just looking really cool. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I thought it was pretty cool to do a countdown as our first project. Make sure you are subscribed so you can see the 11 other days of Craftmas, and make sure you have signed up for the giveaway if you want to win the MakerFlo sublimation oven. I'm super excited to be teaming up with MakerFlo to do this giveaway, so make sure you enter. And I'll have the file for this listed down below, but it's pretty cool what you can do with a laser and just some paint markers. Let me know if you have any questions down below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya!